Judgment Day. Salvation. Starlight Glimmer trots into Ponyville's castle library, her face knotted in concern.
Hey, Twilight, can I talk to you for a minute?
The Princess of Friendship looks up from the scrolls laid out in front of her.
Of course, Starlight. I'm always here to help a friend.
Starlight trots over and takes a seat on a nearby reading couch.
It's about my dad. I'm really worried about him, and as you know, he's in town for the weekend. Oh, is he still coming over for dinner tomorrow?
Twilight asks, hopefully. Starlight's eyes crease shut.
Maybe. I don't know. I had coffee with him about 15 minutes ago, and...
Sighing, she meets Twilight's gaze again.
You know that I never knew my mother, right?
Twilight pouts in a mixture of thought and sympathy.
You never talked about her, so I figured as much. I didn't know if it was a sensitive topic. Well, today, my dad told me that he wanted to tell me the secret of my birth. Went on all these ramblings about how I already knew my mother dearly, and diatribed like wild about how fate has a circular shape, and all these sorts of nonsense. I think he might be mentally ill.
Starlight's face shows a grave concern.
I just left in a hurry.
Twilight's snout scrunches up.
Oh, I don't think he's crazy. That's, jumping to conclusions. I'm sure he's fine.
Starlight's eyes flash with anger as she stares directly into Twilight's eyes.
I know that face. What are you hiding? What? Me? Hiding forbidden knowledge from my students?
The princess chuckles nervously.
That's crazy talk. So help me, Twilight.
Her head falling in defeat, Twilight lets out a strained sigh. Standing up from her desk, she trots to a nearby window and looks out pensively.
Starlight, as unorganized as your father's speech was, he's telling the truth. I know who your mother is.
Starlight's features soften as she stands up from the couch.
Who? Who is it?
Twilight turns around.
Are you sure you want to know? Yes!
Starlight half screeches.
Of course I want to know who my mother is. Okay, I was just checking.
Twilight says defensively.
I was hoping that you would have one of those it doesn't matter epiphanies. Look, you can follow your own path without knowing this, Starlight. There's no turning back if you learn the truth.
Starlight uses her magic to heave a book at Twilight. It smacks her on the side of the neck.
Ow! Alright!
Twilight huffs, rubbing her new bruise.
Jeez. Take a seat.
The two sit next to each other on the couch.
You do indeed know your mother, Starlight.
Twilight begins cautiously.
As you know, I've had my share of experience with time travel magic in alternate timelines. Of course, we had our standoff over that scroll, but soon after I arrived in Ponyville, I traveled through time myself. It's a long story.
She quickly waved it off.
I bet it'd take like 22 minutes to tell, so we'll just leave that for later.
She shakes her head to recenter herself.
Point is, a few months ago, I met... me.
Starlight, who had been listening, unmoving to this point, cocks an eyebrow.
You met you? Future me, to be exact.
She states proudly.
I look very tall and magical, in case you were wondering.
Starlight rolls her eyes and motions with a hoof for Twilight to get on with it.
Right. Well, in the future, a cult of technomancers overthrows the equestrian government. Me and the other element bearers are all defeated in the final battle, but you, Starlight, succeed in destroying them, ushering a new era of peace.
Starlight's ears perk up.
Well, that sounds like a good thing. I'm glad I figured that out. That's not the end, though.
Twilight warns.
The cult's survivors hatch a plan. They sent back an assassin to kill your dad, altering the future and making it so that you were never born.
Starlight's eyes widen.
Wow. So, this isn't a joke.
Twilight's face remains deadly serious.
Future me was kind enough to inform me of what she did. She sent a powerful pony back in time to protect your dad, and she ends up becoming your mother.
Spike leans out from beside a short bookshelf, which had been obscuring him from view. Seriously? This sounds like a plot to a 30-year-old sci-fi film.
Shut up, Spike!
Starlight declares.
This is serious!
Spike glares back at Starlight. I never knew either of my parents, but you don't hear me bitching about it. He grumbles, returning to his work, dusting the shelves.
And you!
Starlight accuses Twilight.
You knew this all this time, and you never told me?
Twilight smiles awkwardly again.
I didn't really know how to go about it. So, who is she? Wait, there's more.
Twilight continues over Starlight's groan.
Because this pony becomes your mother, now she's a target to the Technomancers. So, I'm always vigilant about making sure I have plainclothed agents from the Royal Guard, making sure that she's safe now. We'll never know when, or even if, they will strike at her. So, who's my mom, Twilight?
Starlight demands again, clearly annoyed.
Future me chose to send back a powerful pony to protect your dad, but couldn't send back any pony in our inner circle. The cult would recognize who they were immediately. So, I sent back the most powerful magic user I could find, but one that the Technomancers didn't know.
Starlight leans in expectantly to hear the news. Twilight cringes and smiles awkwardly back at her, chuckling.
It's... So, after he said that, I kicked him as hard as I could, spat in his face, and threw his food on the ground.
Trixie beams, her fiery eyes relishing her own story.
I'm the great and powerful Trixie, after all. I'm not gonna let some shitful talk to me like that.
She smugly takes a big sip from her bubble tea. Starlight's coat is so pale, she looks almost pink. She curls her lips into a forced smile.
That sounds... fascinating.
She answers, her mind's obviously lingering on something else besides Trixie's story. Trixie then shrugs.
So, anyway, I know it's your birthday this weekend. I'm still a little jealous that you're 2 months older than me, but Trixie forgives you. We should go see that new movie about the killer robot pony to celebrate.
Starlight nods quietly, her eyes staring far off into the distance.
Will your dad still be in town? Should we invite him? No!
Starlight quickly answers, her frenzied tone attracting the curious looks of passers-by.
I mean, he's a big scaredy cat. He won't like that movie.
She stares off again. Trixie swallows her latest sip of bubble tea and sighs in relief.
Good. Oh, and between you and me, Starlight.
She leans towards Starlight furtively and lowers her voice to a whisper.
Your dad has always acted a little weird around me.
Starlight whimpers softly. I don't know about you all, but ever since that moment where Starlight found out that Trixie was her mother, I thought about the Jerry Springer show. Just has a tinge of resemblance to it. Anyway, I'd love to give a very special thank you to my futuristic donators. Top donator, Dash of Evergreen, Peter Coulthard, dospo, Runescythe 9852, CourierCruz CI, Delta Omega, Ryanny Dragonwolf, Gagi, Secret Moon, Tallrascha, The Toilet Snake, Soul Dragon, Starlight Glimmer, Squiddy Boy, David D. Sanchez, Trey, Dak Britton, Joe Piercy, Alex F., Rainbow Dash, James Dalton, TLK Anderson, and TV Killer. Thank you all very much for watching this video, and live life to the fullest.